Josh Jacobs believes the Green Bay Packers posed the greatest challenge to the reigning champions last season, but that alone doesn't guarantee their presence among this year's contenders. The debate around the team remains heated, with a daily podcast dedicated to the Packers as part of a broad network that explores various sports discussions. This platform delivers daily analysis of the team. The host publishes a newsletter on the Packers, which fans can subscribe to. Engagement on social media is encouraged, and the podcast is available across multiple platforms, ensuring fans have access to the leading source for Packers coverage. A show created for those who wish to understand not just the events, but the reasons and mechanisms behind them. Gratitude is extended to everyone who makes this podcast part of their daily routine. The goal is to provide a pleasant start to each morning, reflecting the host's enthusiasm for sharing the beginning of the day with the audience. In today's episode, it was mentioned that new participants could receive bonuses after placing their first successful bet. In several off-season interviews, Josh Jacobs emphasized that the Packers were the toughest challenge for the Eagles last season. Looking back at the playoff game, one could argue that the Packers' defense managed the Eagles more effectively than any other team. While the Rams had a strong offensive showing in the postseason, it's worth remembering how the Commanders from the previous season were plagued by mistakes that affected their scoring chances. The Rams had a chance to win late in their game, whereas the Commanders secured a victory, albeit in a unique matchup context. Brian Gutekunst, however, is not interested in that narrative. During a combined conversation, when asked if the team needed to adjust its strategy to align with the Eagles' model, he accurately pointed out that the team had already dealt with similar dynamics before. The Commanders may have won, but it was against a specific opponent in a unique setting. Brian Gutekunst avoided going deeper into the matter. When questioned during the Combine about whether the Packers needed to adapt to compete with the Eagles, he noted that similar conversations had happened before, teams becoming rivals, only for things to shift again in a few years. Even if the rivals remain the same, injuries can reshape the playoff landscape, forcing teams to rethink their opponents entirely. Building a team solely to beat divisional rivals isn't the ideal approach. The goal should be to build the best team possible. This aligns with the ongoing off-season narrative of creating a team that is agile, adaptable, and capable of overcoming any obstacle. It's not just that the Eagles defeated the Packers in the playoffs, it's how they did it. Meanwhile, the Vikings beat the Packers twice during the regular season using a completely different style. The Lions' approach was somewhat similar, especially in their second matchup with the Vikings, where the latter deployed a man coverage tactic. That was the Lions' preference, often bringing the blitz. Drawing conclusions from the Lions or Bears' late-season games is tricky given the absence of key players. Injuries happen every year. They manage to win with a specific player, and they believe they can continue winning with him if needed, though new talent has been added to the offense. Since the draft, the focus has been on making the offense more versatile. Still, the defense is becoming more flexible too. This is illustrated by players capable of playing both outside and slot positions, along with others who bring similar versatility. A strong defensive scheme now requires man-to-man coverage. It's crucial to track players like Jayden Reed, Matthew Golden, Savon Williams, and eventually Christian Watson. To excel defensively, one must be able to handle Savon Williams in space and go up against Marshawn Lloyd, who was considered one of USC's best in breaking tackles 2 years ago. Josh Jacobs led the league in that category last season. If tall safeties are selected, the team must also be ready to defend against the run with players like Anthony Belton and Aaron Banks. While both might not be on the field simultaneously, the intention is clear. This offseason has emphasized flexibility rather than targeting matchups against specific teams like the Eagles, Lions, or Rams. The aim is to build a team capable of beating any of them. And if they reach the Super Bowl, they may face the Chiefs, Bills, or Ravens, teams with completely different styles. Maintaining adaptability is essential for lasting success. Despite criticism over changes made to the offense to accommodate a quarterback, even if he had his best season in years, it's vital to remain open to evolution and acknowledge when a presumed starter fails to meet expectations. This reality affects many teams. The question is whether you can adjust. Do you have the right coaching staff? Is the front office willing to admit flaws and find available players who can contribute immediately? That willingness seems present in this team, particularly in how the front office has effectively tapped into practice squad talent, a strategy unmatched across the league, bringing in players who can make an impact when needed. Not every franchise can do that, but coaching and front office vision are key indicators of a team's overall success. During the months of July, August, and September, teams can pull from their practice squads to find players who make an immediate difference. Not all organizations are built to take advantage of this opportunity, which is why coaching becomes a decisive factor. Equally important is the commitment from the front office. Are they providing the right support, the right resources, and the infrastructure needed for players to develop? It's not just about beating the Eagles, Rams, Lions, Vikings, or Bears in isolation. The broader goal is to build a cohesive team capable of consistently defeating any opponent. Over the past 2 seasons, the Packers have shown they can win against anyone. The more pressing question now is whether their roster is built for sustainable success. That's a significant challenge. Can they elevate their performance in the postseason? It's not simply about the matchups, but since matchups matter, we need to look closely at them. Let's set aside the clutter, handwritten game plans stuck on refrigerators, and chaotic calendar reminders. A new digital display was introduced to help families stay organized. This screen syncs with platforms like Google, Apple, and Outlook calendars and allows for better coordination of practices, meals, and reminders in one shared space. I was intrigued by this product even before it was featured in any promotions and discussed it with my partner. Organization has never been my strong suit, so this tool seemed like a real solution. There's a discount for listeners on their 15-inch models. Returning to the football discussion, the Eagles' pass rush is no longer as imposing. With Milton Williams' departure and Brandon Graham's retirement, they've lost depth and intensity. The Eagles can't overwhelm offenses with multiple elite pass rushers anymore. Meanwhile, the Packers have been focusing on building an offensive line deep enough to survive injuries, aiming for 7 players who are all considered starting caliber. This changes the dynamics significantly. Reflecting on that Eagles game, the defense allowed too many underneath passes, including to Josh Jacobs, which the Packers seem to recognize too late. But now they've added Savon Williams, another weapon capable of operating as a safety release underneath. If he's healthy, he'll be a key player in their next game against Philadelphia. Marshawn Lloyd is another potential threat to take advantage if teams rely too heavily on too deep coverage. Tight end Tucker Kraft is also expected to take on a larger role this season. What can be expected from Jayad Campbell, given his injury concerns? What about Nakobe Dean? Though Zach Bond was re-signed, the Eagles' defense has lost key players. The absence of Darius Slay and C.J. Gardner-Johnson has left serious vulnerabilities. Will I pick the Packers if the two teams play tomorrow? Probably not, but the gap has narrowed significantly. Pound for pound, play for play, the Packers now stand a real chance. They should have won the first game on that slippery Brazilian turf. Can the pass rush improve? Even if not elite, playoff coverage was strong, and there's reason to expect further improvement. Whether Jaire Alexander plays remains uncertain, so we assume he may not. Looking at the matchups now, the Packers are much closer to the Eagles than they were a year ago. There's been plenty of talk about talent levels, but let's focus purely on matchup dynamics. With improved offensive line depth, drawbacks should be easier this year. If someone goes down, it won't be as catastrophic. A healthy offensive line opens up the playbook and makes third downs more manageable against even the best defenses. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL world, star quarterback Josh Allen has officially signed a blockbuster contract with the Green Bay Packers. The stunning announcement has fans and analysts scrambling to assess the new power dynamics in the league, as one of the most dynamic quarterbacks of the modern era makes a dramatic shift from Buffalo to Green Bay. The Packers, long in search of a franchise quarterback to follow in the footsteps of legends like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, appear to have landed their next superstar. Allen, known for his rocket arm, physicality, and playmaking ability, is expected to immediately elevate Green Bay into serious Super Bowl contention. While full details of the deal have yet to be disclosed, early reports confirm that it's one of the most lucrative contracts in NFL history, cementing Allen's status as a top-tier elite player and signaling the Packers' full commitment to winning now. This unexpected move has massive implications for both conferences. The AFC East loses a key player, giving rivals like the Dolphins and Jets a clearer path to the playoffs, while the NFC North instantly becomes a battleground with Allen leading the charge in Wisconsin. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur praised Allen's leadership and competitiveness, expressing excitement about building an offense tailored to his strengths. Josh is the kind of player who changes games and seasons. We're thrilled to have him in Green Bay. Allen leaves behind a strong legacy in Buffalo, where he transformed the Bills into perennial contenders and brought excitement back to a franchise that had languished for decades. Bills fans, though heartbroken, expressed gratitude and admiration for his contributions, with many wishing him success, just not against their team. As training camps loom on the horizon, all eyes will be on Green Bay. The pressure is on, and expectations couldn't be higher. One thing is certain, with Josh Allen in green and gold, the NFL just got a lot more interesting. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Green Bay Packers, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.